You know, I hate to be always right. And again, I'm not trying to sound pretentious or, you know, egoistic or narcissistic, but I've been right. I mean, I've been calling it. I've been saying it. I've been saying this, you know, I don't know. Maybe I should have tried different languages, but I'm pretty sure my English is good enough where you can understand me, where you can understand the basics, right? And I've been saying this to both side of the aisle, you know. One side of the aisle seems to understand it, you know, the Xbox is okay with Game Pass and they get it, they understand it. But the other side, the blue side, the PlayStation side, they just don't seem to get it. I've been preaching this, I've been saying this. Look, before we continue with this segment, before we continue with me reading this segment, and you already know what this is, I overqualify to be the biggest PlayStation fanboy. I would make MBG look like an amateur when it comes to PlayStation. Okay, I own every single PlayStation console. I have many of them. I have all of their accessories: PlayStation VR 1, PlayStation VR 2, even the aim controller, move controller. Dude, you name it. Okay? So I would overqualify. I even have the latest PlayStation 5 Slim, digital PlayStation 5, original PlayStation 5. So when I tell you, when it comes to Sony, no one's going to be the biggest fanboy than this guy. But I'm not. Okay? But I easily could qualify. I'm like super overqualified to become a Sony fan. But also, let's say if I was a Sony fan, as a Sony fan, right? Let's not even use the word Sony fan boy, but as a Sony fan, you would think, as a Sony fan, that people would like understand that 2 plus 2 equals 4. But no, they want you to believe, or they want to tell themselves to believe in their delusional mind that 2 plus 2 equals 22, right? And someone like me who look at things as what they are, I'm going to say no. 2 plus 2 equals 4. So what am I talking about here? What is this whole innuendo philosophy I'm putting in here? Well, what you're looking at is the former CEO boss, ex-PlayStation boss. On a recent interview, he was asked about, you know, the Xbox and PlayStation and where we are currently in video game console generation at this time. And first I'm going to read the article, and when I finish reading the article, then we're going to emphasize and talk more about this. All right, so the title of this is Ex-PlayStation boss wants to end the console war and have one standard console. Okay? Ex-PlayStation boss wants to end the console war and have one standard console. During a recent IGN live panel, ex-PlayStation boss Shawn Layden was among a panel of specialists discussing the future of gaming. From Fortnite and Roblox and cloud streaming, the panel made their thoughts clear on a variety of topics that could very well shape the future of our beloved industry. When asked by host Christopher Dring, and I like this guy, Christopher Dring, he's a good journalist, Layden thinks we will be all playing video games in the future. The once head of Sony said it was impossible to predict, but we would be in a better world if we get down to one standard home console and get the platform war thing out of the way. Well, you heard what I just said, and you heard what he just said. Shawn Layden thinks that we all will be playing video games in the future. The once head of Sony said it was impossible to predict that we would be in a better world if we get down to one standard home console and get the platform war thing out of the way. As for Layden reasoning, he explained that current generation consoles such as the Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5. Layden also acknowledged Nintendo, but said the company was in a lane of its own, and the high-end PCs are almost a plateau where all things being equal, they're pretty much the same. If you look at what Xbox architecture and PlayStation architecture looks like, you rip open the box, it's both built by AMD, Layden said. And it's true, they're both built by AMD. CPU is built by AMD, GPU is built by AMD. Okay, it's pretty much equally the same. Layden said he then noted that during the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 era, the two consoles' architecture was so different that it would make your hair go white trying to do multi-platform against those. And this is so true. This is what I need to highlight it. This is what you guys need to remember. Because I was in that era. I was there when it was happening. I was there when they were releasing these consoles. I know it. I was there. All right? I lived through it. The PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360 era, the two consoles' architecture was so different that it would make your hair go white trying to do multi-platform against those. That's why it was so difficult, to do multi-platform back then, because the manufacturers of the Xbox 360 are way different than the manufacturers of PlayStation 3. Their chipsets, their architecture, everything that they're using, it's totally different from each other. And therefore, there was a difference. When you play something on Xbox 360, it's going to play different. It's going to look different than as to what to expect on the other side, let's say PlayStation 3. And that's why it was impossible to do that multi-platform thing. What he's trying to say, today's consoles are built by the same company, AMD. Okay, GPU, same. CPU, same. Architecture, same. All right, this one has a little bit more teraflops than this one. Big deal. Few numbers here and there. It's not going to make a drastic difference. Okay, they're all going to run equally the same. They're all going to look equally the same because they're built by the same GPU, built by the same CPU, and they're using the same architecture. All right, same AMD architecture. All right, so, and then he went on. Let me see. He also noted that by the ex-PlayStation boss in a separate part of the panel, the consoles in the general are struggling, starting that global install base in any one of those generations never rose above 250 million during the history of consoles. While Layden also discussed the rise revenue during the pandemic, the industry is in dire state right now. Layoffs and closures are occurring every few weeks, with one of the most recent incidents being the shocking closure of Tango Gameworks, the studio behind the recent smash hit rhythm game Hi-Fi Rush. Shawn Layden discussed the recent layoffs earlier this week, saying the studios needs to have more patience and come up with new ideas. Well, actually, I happen to agree now with... Actually, I happen to agree with a lot with Shawn Layden here. Yes, I've been criticizing him for the cloud gaming, and I've been criticizing him for not congratulating Phil Spencer. But I can agree with him here. I can agree with Shawn Layden here. He's talking about facts here. He's making sense. When people make sense, when they talk about facts, well, automatically it's going to make sense. Shawn Layden discussed the recent layoffs earlier this week, saying the studios needs to have more patience and come up with new ideas. And this is true. And he's referring to studios, right? Like the ones that were laid off, or any studio out there. you got to think about it. You're in a business of competition, all right? Just like a studio, or like a film director, right? You got to figure out the way how this movie is going to be profitable, right? Ask Jerry Bruckheimer. He's the big time producer. He'll tell you, I need to figure out the way for this movie to be profitable. If the movie's not going to be profitable, I'm not touching it. I'm not going nowhere near it. So remember, it's business first. All right, it is what it is. It's business. So same thing with video games. Developers need to figure out, hey, what is going to sell and what is not going to sell. So let's focus on some new, fresh ideas that are going to sell versus some same old ideas that have been already used, right? If you already been there, done that, you don't want to go back to that because you already played through that. You already been there, right? You want to come up with something new and fresh, but at the same time, to keep that fresh new formula that's going to go ahead and bring in the revenue, bringing the money. So everything he says here is true. But the gaming situation right now, it's not looking that good, man. People are losing their jobs, a lot of layoffs. The economy, it's in the toilet, pretty much. Are we coming in for another recession? Inflation is ridiculous. The skyrocketing interest rates, people can't pay those interest rates. We're not going to get into the whole politics right now and all that, but things are pretty bad, without a question. Unless you're one of those elites, giga-trillionaires, billionaires, well then, whatever, you don't care. But I'm speaking for majority out there. They know things are pretty bad. So he's acknowledging that. He's saying that. So everything he said here is true. So what I'm trying to say here, is this. When I said, hey, Sony fans or Sony fanboys, wake up, no more exclusives. That's what I'm saying. And he's acknowledging it right now to you. Guys, it's already happening. Can't you see it? It's already happening. All right? All of your PlayStation games are going to PC. And even to Nintendo. What does that tell you? It tells you that the days and age of you buying a PlayStation and beating your chest and saying, hey, I got the greatest console of all time. They got all the exclusives. You need to buy this console if you want to play those games. No. Those days are over. I don't need to buy a PlayStation 5 to play PlayStation 5 games. I don't need to. And pretty soon, when everything goes on cloud, I'm just going to need that Portal number 2, PlayStation Portal 2, and I'll be able to play everything from that device on the cloud. Guys, those days are over. And even he's acknowledging, okay, he was a boss. He's privy to a lot of information. Okay, he's still privy to a lot of information. He knows Jim Ryan. He knows Herman Holst. He knows all of the executives. He knows all the boards of the Sony PlayStation Entertainment Studios. He knows everybody. Okay, he's still privy to a lot of information. He's still privy to a lot of insider stuff that's going on. Okay, and yeah, I know he's not in a company right now. I know he's not the CEO right now, but he's still privy to a lot of stuff. And even he's telling you that those days are over. Now, you can disagree with him. You can disagree with me all you want. It doesn't change the fact that it's over. Exclusivity is over, man, and he's acknowledging that it's over. Okay, so what does that mean? That means you got to stop with the whole fanboy thing. Everybody got to stop with, PlayStation 5 is better. PlayStation 5 runs Xbox games better than Xbox. No, it doesn't. Same GPU, same CPU. Sea of Thieves runs the same way as it does on the Xbox. The only difference is maybe on a PC, okay? Depending what type of optimization you use. All right, so let's just stop right there. Another thing, all right? This whole thing about, oh, we have exclusives. No, you don't. You have timed exclusives, and those timed exclusives will go to PC. Rise of the Ronin, Stellar Blade, Ghost of Tsushima's already there. Ghost of Tsushima 2 will be there after a year or two. Listen, guys, it defeats the purpose of the word exclusivity, as I already mentioned this, as I already made this video. I already said, okay, the word exclusive should be reserved for, hey, you can only play those games here. You can't go nowhere else. If you want to play those games, you gotta buy that console. Those days are over. Those days used to be true back in 2006, early 2000, 99, 98, 2007, hell, even in 2010 and 11. Those things used to be true. But now those days are over. It's over. Those days are over, ladies and gentlemen. You guys need to come back to 2024 and live in 2024. Stop living in the past. Honestly, because some of you, well, majority of you out there are living in the past, You have this nostalgia, you have this mindset and this idea that it's going to stay like this forever. The status quo of exclusivity is going to stay like this forever. The status quo of consoles being released constantly going to stay forever. There's going to be a PlayStation 7 or PlayStation 8. No. Technology evolves. The brand will stay. The name of the brand will stay, but the consoles will go away. How many Blu-ray players can you find to buy? Huh? Why do you think that is? Why do you think you can just walk into a place and just find a Blu-ray player? Why it's so difficult to find a Blu-ray player? Do you know why? How about a DVD player? Because they're not profitable. Everything's on the cloud. Everything's streaming. You don't need them. Physical media is dying. Okay, everything has a beginning, the middle, and an end. I don't know why it's so difficult for people to understand this. Every cycle of technology has a beginning, middle, and an end, and then something else comes along. A new technology comes along. All right? We have seen that progress throughout the years, throughout the decades. We have seen that progress. Okay? From cartridges to CDs to now digital only and then cloud. Okay? It's technology evolves, man. So what is Shawn Layden saying? Shawn Layden is saying exactly what I've been saying. Guys, this is it. I mean, Phil Spencer has already said it. I don't want to force you to play where you want to play. Play wherever you want to play. But our main focus is not going to be just the consoles. And Sony's main focus is not going to be just the consoles. Their main focus is going to be subscription. PlayStation Plus. Handheld. Cloud technology. Same thing with the Xbox. Their main focus is not going to be just the consoles. It's going to be cloud technology, handheld. That's it. Subscriptions. It's all going to be subscription based. And maybe it's a good thing. Maybe this is a good thing because, it's really annoying to go on Twitter feed, to even on a YouTube, just to listen to the whole ping pong nonsense of my console's better than yours, mine plays better than yours, mine have this, mine have that, mine's bigger than yours, all of this nonsense, right? And I'm really glad that it's coming to an end because it was so annoying, dude. It was so annoying to listen to fanboys, man. I'm glad that this toxic nonsense gonna finally come to an end, man. And it will come to an end, man. Mark my words. So there you have it. It's not just me preaching what I've been preaching. There. Yours truly, Shawn Layden. Okay? He knows Herman Holst and Jim Ryan. They're old friends. They go to the same yachts, same parties, okay? They know each other, all right? You don't think he's privy to the information? Of course he is. It wasn't that long ago he was a CEO, 2018, 2019. And he was successful to a certain degree, with the PlayStation 4 Pro, with Mark Cerny, sure. He did some good stuff with the PlayStation 4 Pro. But to be fair, the PlayStation 4 credit goes to Jack Trent, okay? Because before him, Jack Trent was very successful with PlayStation 4. And Jack Trent almost destroyed Xbox One. And if it wasn't for the Phil Spencer, who knows what would happen to the Xbox. So I give credit to Jack Trent. He just took over what was already established with Jack Trent with PlayStation 4, and he just ran with PS4 Pro and PlayStation VR original. But nonetheless, he was a CEO. So when you hear it from a guy like him, then you know what's up. You know what time it is. Guys, wake up. And it's not just me that's going to tell you this. A lot of other YouTubers will tell you this. They're going to tell you the same thing. You guys, listen, you guys have to wake up. But if you want to be delusional, like I said, whatever helps you sleep at night, whatever helps you have a better night's sleep, and fine, believe whatever you want to believe. And you are within your rights to believe whatever you want to believe. But the facts are facts. The facts are this, before I go. I don't need a PlayStation 5 to play PlayStation 5 games. Okay, I'm going to end the video by saying this. I don't need a PlayStation 5 to play PlayStation 5 games. I have a PC. Okay? And on that PC, I can use a cloud. I can play all those games from Steam, Uncharted, Ratchet and Clank, Returnal, Ghost of Tsushima, Horizon Zero Dawn, Forbidden West, Spider-Man, all of it. Detroit Become Human, Until Dawn. I mean, should I go on? And pretty soon, God of War, Ragnarok, and I'm sure there's going to be The Last of Us Part 2, and I'm sure there's going to be Ghost of Tsushima Part 2 sequel as well on the PC. So there you have it. Okay? It's already happening. Oh, yes. Helldivers 2. And in August, Concord as well. All right? So what does this tell you? These are the facts. That it's already happening. And not only do you have the facts that it has already happened, but at the same time, you have another fact confirming it here with the former CEO boss. Okay? All right. Well, there you have it. I'm just here to give you the facts. All right? I'm not here to make you feel miserable. I'm just here to tell you the truth. I'm just here to tell you the facts. That's it. All right. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.